welcome this evening to our Friday live session. My name is Ajayi and I'm a teen mentor and coach. Friday evenings we have these wonderful conversations to help teenagers around us. And today we'll be talking about developing a positive self-esteem, especially for teenagers and young adults. Now we look around us and I have seen a lot of young people struggle with issues around self-esteem. People seeking validation, seeking to be supported throughout whatever it is that they are going through in life. Now, one of the things that a healthy self-esteem can do for any young person, anyone actually, is being at that place where you are able to be confident in yourself. You see that a low self-esteem results in low self-confidence. And when you are not confident in yourself, you don't believe in yourself, then you begin to believe whatever anyone says about you. And so this evening, I'll just be going through briefly, actually, I'll be going through how I think that we can develop a healthy self-esteem. Developing a healthy self-esteem is important in growing up, in figuring out who we are, in understanding who we are. Because some of the times, if we want to build skills like resilience, we want to go through difficult circumstances, if we do not have a healthy self-esteem, it can affect it. It can become a challenge, because life is not always a bed of roses, like they say, which means that in life there will be times that are not as easy as other times. In life there will be times where challenges will come. In life there will be times where there will be an end in relationships. There will be times where things will not just go the way that we have planned it to be. So it is critical and it is important for every young person to have a positive self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem, as the word esteem goes, esteem means respect. Great respect for something. So self-esteem means respect for self, or how you see yourself. Respect for yourself based on the value that you have placed on yourself. So if you see yourself as important, as valuable, as wonderful, then you will be able to respect yourself. I've seen situations where girls or boys will subject themselves to circumstances that you'll start asking yourself, why? Why would you get yourself involved in something like this? Why would you ever think that you need anybody to tell you who you are? Why would you only wait for an opportunity for someone else to validate you? This comes from a low self-esteem. And parents are not even helping issues. They're not helping issues. Because at the end of the day, the level of self-esteem that our children exhibit can be tied to the upbringing at home. There's so many of our disciplinary strategies that bring down the self-esteem of our children. If you have opened your mouth to rain insults on them, to call them all kinds of names, I've heard parents calling their children derogatory names like Orobo, Atine, those kind of names that either depict that you're too fat, or you're too slim, or you are not intelligent, or you're, if a child has a particular challenge, what I feel should happen is to try to build that child's self-esteem despite that challenge and seek ways to raise that child out of that challenge. If a child has academic issues, maybe they are finding it difficult to cope with at a certain stage in academics, you cannot start calling such a child Dundee, for example, and say you're not brainy, you're not intelligent like your siblings. Can't you see your older sister? Can't you see your younger sister? She's smarter than you. Now, those kind of comments will bring down the self-esteem of such a child. So the important thing for us to note as parents and as adults relating with young people around us, we need to learn to speak to them in words that will affirm their true identity. Their true identity is the identity that God gave to them when He was creating them. Now, it doesn't mean that every child is going to come the same. Like everyone is just going to be smart or look smart. Everyone is, anyway, being smart anyway is subjective because many people learn differently. And sometimes our academic environment does not even give room for all the types of intelligence that they are. So the truth is that some persons may find it easier to just cope with the current academic curriculum in a particular environment because it is kind of not balanced. But if that is the case, speaking down on such a child only tramples on the self-esteem of such a person. So in growing children that will be resilient, in growing children that will be able to go through challenges and look at those challenges and say, yes, I might have failed in this way, I might not be doing well in this way, but I know that I am still valuable. I know that I am valuable. I know that I am important. Those are the kind of children we want to raise. Because at the end of the day, when we trample on the self-esteem of our children, it affects the way they see themselves. It affects their self-confidence. It affects their outputs. You can't be talking down on someone consistently and expecting the person to rise up. I know some of us will say, oh, that was how our parents brought us up and we turned out all right. Not many of us turned out all right. In fact, many of us turned out not all right. That you do not know that you are not all right doesn't mean you are all right. There are certain challenges that we face today that we can tie back to those things that have happened for persons that could be self-aware enough to acknowledge that these are the truths. So, our parents did not know better, and they worked with the knowledge they had at that time. But we cannot stay there forever. We have to help this generation, because if there's anything that they have in this generation, or that this generation has in abundance, is access, knowledge, information. So bamboozling them with fairy tales may not necessarily work. But being loving, being kind, and being supportive works for them. So when you're having challenges with your teenager, speaking down on them, trying to use negative psychology on them, it's not working. If it were working, you'll be getting the results you wanted. These are people you want to treat with love. I'm not saying treat them with kids' glove. I'm not saying don't correct them, because actually they need correction, and anyway, that is what discipline is. So, but I'm saying that we must approach them with the care that they deserve, with the love that they need. And if we must correct, like the Bible says anyway, we must correct in love. Okay, so back to my teenagers. Please, parents, don't distract me. Back to my teenagers. How do you develop a healthy self-esteem? How do you develop a healthy self-esteem? I'm going to share a few points I put down here. This one, I'll just start with the very basic one. There was something I said in the Friday live session last week, and I said it and I'm saying it again now. When God was creating man, if he had wanted to create him like those movies where man creates robots and like 10,000 robots are doing the exact same thing and are responding to stimuli the same way, if that's what God intended when he was creating man, I'm sure he would have been able to achieve that. He would have just created an army of robot-like men that do exactly what he wants and that move exactly the same way. But the truth that I see is that God wanted us to be unique, diverse, special, such that if you go around the world, no two persons have all fingerprints the same. Everyone is unique. Everyone is special. Everyone is wonderful. Everyone is beautiful. Now, you know that there's a standard in different societies as to what beauty is anyway. So if you're in a particular society, this is a standard of beauty. You're in a separate one, this is a standard of beauty. Those are man-made standards. And man did not make man. God made man. And if God made man, God decided to make men to be different, unique, special. He didn't make a mistake when he was creating you. He's not an author of confusion. Not at all. He was intentional in creating you. Sometimes because we do not know what our purpose is, we do not understand why we are here, we tend to be so wrapped up in what I will now call frivolities. Why I call them frivolities is that they are not really as important as we make them in our hearts. But because we make them important in our hearts, then they take over our lives. So you must begin to see yourself as unique, dynamic, special. God knew exactly what he was doing when he created you. He's not an author of confusion. He is not someone that is into making mistakes. This is a God. If you look at creativity, if you look at nature, you look around you, you would know for certainty that this could only have been the hand of a creator. So, if a creator makes a particular creation, he knows exactly why he has made that creation like that. So I think that finding our roots back to our creator, finding our roots back to our God, will help us appreciate the person of who we are. Will help us accept who we are. Because it really, really starts from accepting who we are. If you don't accept who you are, you cannot value who you are. If you don't accept who you are, you cannot understand that you are here for a unique purpose. And that unique purpose is part of why you are packaged the way you are packaged. Truth. So, embrace who you are. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate it. Because God did not make a mistake in creating you. Another thing that I see that affects why people find it difficult to accept who they are is comparison. Comparison, both in our minds, comparison that others have compared. You know, parents have said, you're not like A, B, C, you're not like, X, Y, Z. And such things have soaked into our minds, and we have actually started to believe them. Because if you don't believe them, it will not matter what anyone says. And I can't blame you for starting to believe them if you have listened to them, you have allowed it to enter into you over the years. But that's why I'm here now talking to you. That's why I'm here talking to you. No, you can no longer stay in that place where you believe the negative things that someone has said about you. You are not that result. You are greater than that academic performance. You are greater than that seeming flaw. I know you may be reminded constantly that that is who you are, but that's not all there is about you. There's so much about you that is intrinsic, that is inside, that is even ever yet to come out. So if you focus, your eyes are set on only the things that you think are not working, which are actually supposed to work together for your good, like the Bible says. If you focus on that, then you will live out the good stuff. You live out the good stuff. And that's not what we want, or that's not the kind of life that we want to live. Another thing I would like to say is that we should start to be realistic in our expectations. Be realistic in our expectations. You know that when we understand that perfection is not actually the goal. I know they say practice makes perfect. Well, I don't think it actually makes perfect. I think, like a mentor of mine once said, practice makes progress. Because you practice not because you just become perfect. You practice to get better. And we are on a journey of getting better. Let me give you an example. You want to learn to play the keyboard. You start to maybe go to rehearsal, get someone to teach you, to tutor you, and they're teaching you, you're practicing, you're getting better, and you just keep getting better. 10 years from now, you're playing the keyboard excellently well, but there's nothing like perfection. Yes, you get to play outstanding melodies, but you're not going to rest there and say, oh, I can play these melodies, so I'm perfect. If you leave playing the keyboard for a long time without practice, you come back to it. And yes, with a little bit of practice again, you begin to get back to where you were. So practice is not really like, oh, you practice today and tomorrow you are completely flawless, that there is no iota of human error. No, nothing like that. It's a myth. It does not really exist. Things will happen. You could be hurt and you're playing the keyboard, and that hurt will show in the music. You could be happy and you're playing the keyboard, and that happiness would reflect in the music. That is the imperfection of man. So even when you are extremely good at something, understand that perfection is not really the goal. But you are supposed to be in competition with your previous self, not in competition with your neighbor. I'm not saying healthy competition is not good, but I'm speaking specifically for things that affect our self-esteem. You are not in competition with anyone. You are in competition with your past. And I can even add that you are striving because of your future self, or the future that you see for yourself. It's not bad to look up to people and say, oh, this person is doing excellently well in this field. I would like to be like this person. I would like to pattern what I'm doing according to what this person is doing. But your life should not be dependent on that competition mentality. Your life should be focused on becoming the better version of what you are today. You should be focused on becoming the best of yourself, not the best of anybody, the best of yourself. That is what the focus is supposed to be. So please, young people, girls and boys, I beg you, focus on yourself. Know that perfection is not something that should be the goal. Progress should be the goal, because you can make progress every day. And once you see that there's progress, you can keep moving. But if you are looking at perfection, even the progress you are making, you will not see it. Because you're thinking, I'm still not perfect. So why am I putting in the effort if I can never be perfect? So your focus should be on progress. Oh, yesterday it was like this, but it's a bit better today. Okay, that means I can get better. That means I can do better. And then you keep striving to get better. So, another thing that I think that we can do as young people is to speak positively to ourselves. Especially if you have been in an environment where you have been spoken to negatively for the better part of your life. You need to learn to positively speak to yourself. Especially again, if there are certain features or characteristics or experiences about yourself that you do not like. The more reason you must speak to yourself. You wake up in the morning, speak the right words to yourself. Speak it to yourself. I know negative thoughts can come. Negative thoughts, oh, you're not good enough, you're not valuable enough, you're not important enough to be loved. I know people that have felt betrayed by their parents, betrayed by friends, and now they think that they no longer hold any value. And they just live without mindsets. No. You need to look at yourself every morning and speak the right words. You can get affirmations, write them down. I am solid. That's one of the affirmations I tell myself. I am solid. I am wonderful. I am beautiful. I am exceptional. I'm extraordinary. Yes, because I am extraordinary. I always do the extra. So those are the things that you start to write, and you speak those words to yourself. You speak it to yourself to the point that it's impossible for you not to believe that you are actually that. And you know that the Bible says that whatsoever a man thinketh in his heart, whatever he thinketh, that's what he is. Whatever he thinks is what he is. So if you begin to think that you are smart, it means that you are smart. I shared a story of one of my younger brothers. Excuse me. At a time, he had challenges with mathematics, and he was in secondary school then. So he would do very well in other subjects, and then maths was a problem. He's an engineer today, and he's doing excellently well. But at that time, mathematics was an issue. So, over time, he started having to speak to himself. Sorry, please. Just a minute. He started having to speak to himself that he could do well in mathematics. He's intelligent. He could do well. And he started to do well. Yes, we put in the work. There was some tutorial. Okay, let's learn this, let's work on this, let's work on it. That was done. But I think that part of what made it so easy, the transformation, was mind-blowing. Because he not only became good at maths, he became exceptional at mathematics. He had to talk to himself. He had to talk to himself. He had to do the talking. So what are you saying to yourself? It is important. In fact, it is more important than what others are saying. So what are you saying to yourself? Whatever you say to yourself, scripturally, that's what you become. And that's what the Bible says. So we need to learn to start to speak what we want to see, not what we are seeing. Because the temptation is there to just, oh, it's not working. This one is not working. Appa. I know now, Auntie Ame, you're just saying this to make us feel okay. No, please, I'm not in the business of making people feel okay. Actually, I can unruffle your feathers. So I'm not in the business of making you feel okay. I'm in the business of opening your eyes to see that there's so much in you that you have allowed to slide because you have not waited to look, to acknowledge, to embrace. Last week I talked a lot about surrounding yourself with people that will value you, that will see you, that will say the right things about you. But I want to speak today concerning mentors, because I don't just want to talk about friends and all that. We spoke about that, exhaustively last week. So I want to speak about the role of mentors and role models. Now, you need to find people that inspire you. Oh goodness, I have people that inspire me almost in everything. I have people that inspire me in mentorship. Do you know what that means? I have people that inspire me in parenting. I have people that inspire me in education. I have people that inspire me even in dressing. So the roles of mentors cannot be overemphasized. Now, we run at the Germane Teens Initiative, we run mentorship programs for teenagers. We run programs centered around leadership skills building, socioeconomic empowerment. A lot of these things that we do is to help young people to get to a point where they see the value in themselves and where they know that they can even contribute to the society around them. But in doing this, I have people that I look up to. So people as big as even my father in the Lord, Bishop David Yodiko, have mentors. And then where you are saying, no, I don't really need this one. You need mentors. You may even have, but you do not recognize. So maybe you need to begin to recognize them. If you need me to mentor you, or you need us to mentor you, we are available, we will. That's what we do. But the truth is that around you, there will be people that inspire you. There will be people that you can look up to. You may not be 5 and 6 chummy with your mentors, sleeping with them on the same bed and that kind of environment, on that kind of arrangement, but you can learn from them. You're listening to this live session now. You can learn from it. If I inspire you, you can learn from it. Because I learn from people that I haven't even met. They could be family members, they could be teachers, they could be parents, there could be other adults who understand you, who support you. But you need to be able to identify positive influence. I know we know what positive influence is. People that influence you positively. You know them when you see them now. You know. And you know those that are not influencing you positively. So you should be able to identify positive influence and marry your thinking with their thinking, especially in that positive light. Especially in that positive light. So now, 2025 is not the year where you give chance to people to take over your life negatively. You are allowed. There can even be people that are within your age brackets that could be your mentors, peer mentors, people that have gone ahead of you in certain lights. There are people that, by virtue of their upbringing, by virtue of what they have been exposed to, will know better than you in certain areas. They can mentor you. But you need to be able to identify what positive influences and seek after it. This is extremely important. And finally tonight, I want to tell you to take care of your body. Many young people, take care of your body, guys. When you're young, it is important to take care of your body. Very, very important. Because you'll get to a stage, you'll start wishing that you had done these things when you were younger. Take care of your body. Learn to eat healthy. Learn to rest. It's not every time your eyes are glued on the screen. Teenagers, you need to create time to rest. Take care of your body. Rest. Go out on physical activities like walking, sports, exercising. These are things that keep you fit and healthy. Because when you're fit, you're healthy, you feel rejuvenated, you feel you have this burst of energy, you feel you can do anything. It boosts your self-esteem. It does boost your self-esteem. So work on taking care of your body. Work on taking care of your body. And then don't forget to focus on your strengths. When you focus on your strengths, you'll be able to go through difficult circumstances, and then you'll be able to work and improve on your weaknesses. Thank you so much for joining this evening Friday live session. I'm always super psyched to be here, and I'm glad I didn't see comments. I think I saw a few on YouTube, but I'm not too sure if my Facebook people were following. Facebook people, are you people here? I think I'm live on both platforms, but please, guys, I need to see your comments to know that you followed our conversation this evening. So we have spoken a little bit about how we can, as young people, develop a healthy self-esteem, and I have begged our daddies and mommies in the house to please help us help our self-esteem by speaking the right words, by relating to us and correcting us in love every day. Thank you again for joining. If you're seeing this as a replay, please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. We are already at 100 subscribers. Yay! I know. 100, I know. Please, let's take the numbers up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Appreciate your support over time. My name again is Ajayi, and we have something cooking. I'll be dropping on our different platforms. Please continue to engage with us and follow us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.